Today, the 16th of September, Archangel Michael says, "Don't skip someone you loved deeply in heaven has been pleading for you to see this warning before it's too late. Open it immediately. Asterisk, I am Michael, a guardian voice at the edge of your hearing, a steady presence beneath the clamor of doubt. Hear me not as an intruder, but as a companion who remembers the shape of your heart. I come bearing a message that is both ancient and immediately for you to wake, to stand, to forgive, to love, again, to remember who you truly are. Listen now. This is not a sermon. It is a mirror, a roadmap, and a kind hand. I will speak plainly, and I will speak with the kind of firmness that love requires. I will carve truth with a luminous blade, yes, but I will also lay a blanket of light where your wounds ache. Receive what you can. Let the rest fall away as a leaf. Let's go in autumn. 1. You are seen, holy, and without conditioned first. You are seen. In the silence of night, in the ache of loss, in the restless hurry of your days, you are seen. Not for what you do, not for what you achieve, not for the roles you keep trying on. You are seen for the living, breathing soul you are. People will tell you who you must be. Some will whisper expectations. Others will shout judgments. But beneath all of that, there is a quiet seat reserved for you at the table of being. Step into it. Let your breath be your proof. You are here. You are alive. You are loved. If you have felt invisible, this is your permission slip to exist. If you have felt unworthy, hear this. Worth is not earned. Worth is inherent. You are a candle of unique light, not bright by comparison. Not loud when people imagine courage. They picture grand acts, thunderous speeches, dramatic rescues. But courage in a human life is often quiet. It is choosing to speak your truth in small rooms. It is deciding, after a night of tears, to step into the sun. It is setting boundaries with a person you once loved, because protecting your soul is now part of loving them. Courage might look like compassion, and compassion might look like courage. When you forgive, not because the other person deserves forgiveness, but because your heart deserves peace, that is bravery. When you say no to someone who drains you, that is bravery. When you stand up for someone who has no voice, that is bravery. Do not mistake gentleness for weakness. A blade tempered slowly is stronger than one forged in haste. Let patience temper you. Courage can be a whisper. Learn to listen for it. 3. Grief is proof you loved. Love is not a debt to keep if a beloved has crossed beyond the veil. Do not rush through your grief as if it were an inconvenience. Grief is not a flaw. It is the echo of a love that has left its shape in your life. To grieve is to testify that you loved. That testimony honors not only the one who passed, but the living memory of your own capacity to connect. Yet, remember, love is not a weight you must carry forever, like a chain. Love is a presence that can be transformed. You can hold memory without it destroying you. You can carry affection without being crushed by sorrow. There is a sacred alchemy in grief. It will refine you if you allow it to. You will not forget. You will remember with gentleness, and life will slowly fill the spaces grief once occupied, sometimes with new joy, sometimes with quiet acceptance, sometimes with service that gives your past meaning. You do not owe anyone your pain as a shrine. You may choose to honor the past by living a life that would make that love smile, for forgiveness is freedom for you. First, no one asks you to excuse harm or to forget what has been done. Forgiveness is not whitewashing. Forgiveness is a release, a decision you take to not let a wound determine every tomorrow. When you forgive, you are choosing to unclench your hands from the stones of bitterness and to open them to light. Forgiveness does not require reconciliation. You can forgive and still protect yourself. In fact, protecting yourself might be the truest form of forgiveness. It teaches others that harm is not permissible, and it preserves the sanctity of your heart. Practice this. Imagine the face of the person who hurt you. See them as a child first, then as a flawed human. Speak aloud, "I release you from the claim you have on my joy." Say it softly, repeatedly, until it loses its edge. Forgiveness is a muscle that strengthens with use. 5. Boundaries are holy. They are the fences around your garden people. Sometimes think boundaries are selfish. I say they are sacred. A garden without a fence is trampled. A heart without borders becomes a refugee camp for everyone else's needs. Setting boundary is an act of love for yourself and for those around you, because it clarifies how you can be present without losing yourself. A boundary might be physical time, space, emotional topics you will not discuss, or spiritual, the practices you choose. Learn to name what you need and to state it clearly. When someone resists, that resistance is not a measure of your failure. It is a signal that your boundary is necessary. Practice saying small truths calmly. "I can't do that for you right now. I will not be spoken to that way. I need time alone." Each simple, clean boundary builds your life into a form that supports your soul. 6. Your voice matters. Speak with clarity and kindness. Many of you have been silenced by fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of being wrong. Fear of breaking harmony. But silence can become a cage. Find the vocabulary for your inner life. Speak plainly and lovingly. People will hear you better when you are concise and honest. Avoid piling on drama as a substitute for clarity. You do not need to shout to be heard. You need to be truthful. Training tip: when you're nervous, breathe deeper and slower. Shape one sentence: I feel underscore when underscore and I need underscore. This pattern is simple and it works because it keeps the focus on your experience and your request rather than on blame. 7. Service enlarges the heart, but not at the cost of the self. Life spent serving others is radiant. Yet service that erases you is not service. It is consumption. Give, but not until you are empty. Align your service with your gifts. Find the place where your inclination meets the world's need, and pour yourself into that sweet spot. Service can be silence in a hospital room, bringing coffee to an overwhelmed friend, or building a home for those without shelter. It can also be the daily stewardship of your own family or cultivating patience with a coworker. Do not belittle small acts. The universe measures love not by grandeur, but by consistency. Remember, sometimes the most radical act of service is to let someone else carry their own lessons. Rescue can stunt growth. Discern where your help nurtures and where it merely removes responsibility. 8. Truth is your blade. Use it with mercy. Carry a sword of truth, not as a weapon of harm, but as a tool to cut through illusions. You too have a blade. Your capacity to see, to name, to understand. Use it to cut falsehoods, not to carve someone into shame. Honesty should be tempered by compassion. There is a difference between telling someone they are causing harm and shaming them for their humanity. Practice delivering truth wrapped in care. Speak the necessary words, but not in a way that wounds needlessly. When you find yourself tempted to say something harsh, ask, will this build or break? Will this free or bind? Let your answer be the law you live by. 9. The world needs your story, and your story needs you. Every human life holds a story that matters. Do not diminish the shape of your journey. Your wounds, your victories, your hesitation, these are the threads others may use as lifelines. When you share your story, you give permission for others to step out of shame. Stories are bridges. They are the way hearts find each other. You may fear judgment, and yes, judgment exists. But there are also those who will heal because you chose courage over silence. Start small, an honest sentence with a trusted friend, a journal entry read back in a moment of courage, a piece of art that shows a shard of your truth. Your story need not be tidy to be powerful. It just needs to be true. 10. Let doubt be a doorway, not a wowed out is not the enemy of faith. It is its companion. Doubt asks questions. Let it. Curiosity is the lamp by which wisdom walks. When you doubt your path, do not interpret that as failure. Treat doubt like a map maker. It redraws the edges, identifies obstacles, and reveals new trails. Cultivate practices that welcome doubt productively. Meditation, honest conversation, reading, walking in nature. These do not erase uncertainty. They give you companionship in it. 11. Rituals weave daily life into meaning. You are a creature of rhythm. Rituals anchor you. They need not be elaborate. A morning breath, a gratitude list, a moment to lay your palms on your chest and speak a blessing. These acts create a spine of sacredness in ordinary days. Try this each morning. Place your hand on your heart and say, I breathe in courage. I breathe out doubt. I walk my path at night. Name 3 things you did well, no matter how small. Over time, these small acts become an inner architecture that supports you in storms. 12. Align your work with your calling, not only your earnings. Calling is not always a job title. It is the consistent pull toward something larger than yourself. Align your life with that pull where you can. If you cannot change careers overnight, infuse your current work with intention. Be kind in one more interaction. Be meticulous in one small task. Act with integrity in one decision. These shifts create ripple effects. If you seek change, plan with courage. Begin with low-risk experiments. Volunteer. Take a class. Mentor someone. Small experiments reduce fear and reveal whether a larger step is wise. You are a light among lights. Shine not for the applause of the world, but because the world is brighter with you in it. With steady wings and a sword that illuminates truth, not to wound, but to free, I stand beside you. Walk forward. Be brave. Be merciful. Be luminous. Hear now the steady drumbeat of truth that lives within your chest. The pulse of courage gifted to you at the moment. You were first breathed into being. I come as a presence of steadiness and strength, not to demand that you become someone else, but to remind you of who you already are. Each of you carries an everlasting flame, small, sometimes fierce at others. It is mine now to fan it. It is yours to keep. You walk across a world of shadow and light. There will be days when the shadows feel large, when fear places its cold hand upon your shoulder and whispers that you are alone, unworthy, incapable. In those moments, remember this simple law. Fear is not a verdict, it is a messenger. Listen to it, and then choose. Choose to move. Choose to shine. Choosing does not mean absence of trembling. It means taking the next step even while your legs quake. The call to courage does not always roar. Sometimes courage is the soft, steady breath that continues when the storms howl. It is the voice that says, "I will try again." It is the hand that lifts another even when both hands are trembling. You are not asked to be fearless. You are asked to be truthful. Speak your truth with gentleness and firmness. Stand in the places that call you to stand for your purpose, for another's healing, for justice, for tenderness. When the world tilts and you feel unmoored, let the light within you act as an anchor. Draw inward to that center where your soul remembers the pledge it made to love, to learn, to serve. Feel the strength that issued forth when you first chose life. That strength is constant. No circumstance, no sentence of the past, no future fear can remove it from you. I will stand with you as a clarity at the edge of chaos. Breathe into that clarity. Plant your feet. The sword of discernment. Bring the sword of discernment, not to cut with violence, but to sever what binds you to pain and confusion. Discernment is the gentle art of seeing clearly what lifts you, what drains you, what is necessary, what is habitual fear disguised as duty. Use this sword to free yourself from patterns that were born of survival, not thriving. Use it to cut cords to blame, shame, and old vows that no longer serve the highest good. Discernment sharpens when you practice silence. In the quiet, you hear the difference between voice and echo, the voice of your soul versus the echoes of others' anxieties. Learn to sit in silence without filling it with activity that simply numbs. Even 5 breaths of honest stillness will teach you more about your direction than a year of frantic doing. Begin there. Claim that small citadel of peace and let it widen, the shield of compassion along. With the sword, I hold the shield of compassion. Compassion is not weakness. It is armor forged from the fires of understanding and mercy. Wrap it around yourself and others. When someone lashes out, stand behind compassion and ask, what pain drives this expression? When you fail, hold your own soul with the same tenderness you would offer a grieving child. Compassion has edges. Do not confuse compassion for endless acceptance of harm. Protect yourself. Learn to say no. Setting boundaries is a sacred act. It communicates to the universe that your love for yourself is not negotiable. When you hold firm, you do not harden. You clarify. You teach the world how to meet you with dignity, release, and renewal, beloved. There is a rhythm: release, renewal, return. Grief, regret, and disappointment are visits, not mortgages. You may carry scars. Let them be honored as maps of what you survived, not prisons that keep you small. Release what needs releasing. Resentments that occupy your heart like a heavy stone. Promises made from desperation. Identities crafted out of fear. Release sounds different for everyone. For some, release is spoken prayer. For others, a walk into the sea or the practice of burning symbolic papers in a safe, ceremonial way. For some, it is the quiet act of forgiving, not to condone what was done, but to free yourself from carrying it. Let the breath be your ritual. Breathe in truth. Breathe out what no longer belongs to you. There is renewal on the other side of that letting go. New streams will form where old ones dried up. Your hands will learn new languages of giving. Your heart will open with renewed edges, wiser and kinder. Trust this unfolding. Trust the sacred timing that threads itself through your life. Purpose and service do not shrink from the call of purpose. Each life, every quiet soul, and every loud one has work that only it can do. Your purpose might be a roar or a whisper, raising children, tending a garden, listening at the bedside of the lonely, inventing, crafting, teaching, pleading for justice. Purpose is often revealed through the pain you have moved through. Your wounds become maps to the work you are called to carry. Service does not require grand gestures. It begins at the scale of kindness, an offering of presence, a willingness to see the person before you, a refusal to be distracted by the need for recognition. Service refined by humility transforms ordinary tasks into sacrament. Let your daily life become an altar. The small things done with devotion create the architecture of a meaningful life. Truth and integrities stand in truth. Let integrity be your compass. There will be temptations to skew the truth, to make things easier to please, to avoid discomfort. Resist each small compromise, chips away at the structure of your inner world. Live in alignment. Speak plainly when possible. Act kindly when necessary. And apologize readily when you go wrong. Truth is not always comfortable. It may require you to leave situations, relationships, or patterns that no longer align with what you have become. That leaving is not betrayal of the past. It is fidelity to the future you are being called into. Honor your history, but do not be its prisoner. Healing the wounded places you carry inherited wounds, stories that stream down from ancestors, cultural pain, trauma that your own body remembers. Healing is not a race. It is a patient, dedicatory work. Begin by acknowledging the hurt. Name it. Bring light to it. Seek those who can help. Healers, therapists, trusted friends, spiritual guides. There is no shame in seeking support. There is courage. Unlearn the phrase, "I should have healed by now. Healing is not linear. Some days you will rise. Other days you will crawl. Both are holy. Be tender. Celebrate small shifts. The way your chest grows lighter after a confession. The first laugh that comes back after weeks of silence. The moment you choose nourishment over numbing. Let sound, ritual, and movement be tools. Sing when you can. Throw your body into motion when it calls. Write the story you have been telling yourself and then tear it up or rewrite it as an act of authorship. You are the writer and the reader of your life. Change the plot where it serves growth. Love as weapon and bomb love is not a passive state. It is the most potent power you hold. Use it both as bomb and boundary. Let love teach you discernment. Not every person is meant for your deepest intimacy. Some souls are teachers whose visit is brief. Some relationships are temporary sanctuaries. Love deeply, yes, but love with eyes open, not blinded. When hatred or cruelty rises in the world, do not answer with the same. Meet it with a strong, clear love that refuses escalation. Stand firm where wrongness must be corrected. Still, prefer the force of truth over the force of retribution. Your fierce love can be a sword that defends the weak and a salve that heals the broken. Unity and the web of souls, remember. You are never truly separated. Each breath you draw touches the breath of others. Your choices ripple outward in ways you cannot always see. When you lift yourself, you lift a thread in a web that supports many. When you heal a piece of pain, you open space for countless others to breathe easier. There is no hierarchy in the heart's web. The king and the child, the teacher and the laborer, the wealthy and the poor, all are connected. Tend this truth by choosing acts that support collective flourishing. When you give from plenty, not from scarcity. When you speak to uplift, to correct, to clarify, not to wound. Courageous action spirit without action becomes an idle dream. Earth without spirit becomes barren. Therefore, marry the heights to the soil. Take courageous action. Plant, build, vote, speak truth. Advocate for those with no megaphone. Roll up your sleeves and be present in the messy work of repairing systems and hearts. Action does not require perfection. Aim for integrity instead. Begin with what is in reach. A regular act of service. A monthly donation. A letter to an official. A compassionate conversation with a neighbor. These small commitments, repeated, become a revolution in quiet daily practices for anchoring light. Allow me to offer practical, simple practices to strengthen your center. Morning, 10-fold breath. Upon waking, inhale, counting to 4. Hold 2, to exhale to 4. Repeat 10 times. Imagine with each inhale that a golden light fills your heart. With each exhale, release a small stone of worry. Shielding invocation. Visualize a blue gold shield around you. Say aloud, I stand in love and discernment. I am protected and clear. Repeat when entering crowded or challenging spaces. Compassion pause. Each day, choose one interaction to hold in extra care, a cashier, a colleague, a child, and give them your full attention for 30 seconds, longer than usual. I return now to remind you of the vast reservoir of power and grace that resides within you. It is easy, amidst the chaos of the world, to forget that you are more than circumstance, more than your doubts, more than the limitations others attempt to place upon you. You are a spark of divine essence, eternal, infinite, radiant, and though life may obscure this truth temporarily, it cannot erase it. Untrusting the invisible trust is not blind. It is a deliberate surrender to the currents of the unseen, knowing that even in the moments of apparent abandonment, you are being guided, protected, and supported. Many of you ask, why must suffering touch me? Why does fear linger? Why do I feel unseen? I tell you, the unseen is working through all these experiences. The challenges are not punishments. They are teachers, mirrors, reflecting your own strength and resilience. Trust is built step by step, breath by breath. Begin with the small things. Trust that you can rise each morning. Trust that love will find you when you extend it. Trust that when a door closes, another opens. Sometimes not immediately, sometimes in ways you could never have imagined. Each act of trust is a brick in the foundation of your soul's home. Over time, you will stand on this foundation, steady as the mountains, unshakable. Luminous. Asterisk. Nightly inventory. Before sleep, review the day. Name 3 things you did well. Name 1 thing you learned. Offer thanks. Release regrets into a symbolic container, real or imagined. Service habit. Commit to 1 small act of service weekly that stretches you. A phone call, food, donation, volunteer hour. Track it and celebrate the growth. These exercises are not rigid rules. They are invitations to discipline the spirit gently and consistently. Facing fear, the anthem of courage, you will meet fear. There is no life without it, but fear is an instrument you can learn to play rather than a master who controls you. When fear rises, do not panic. Name it. This is fear. Breathe. Ask, what is it asking me to protect? Often, fear is pointing to an area that needs tending. Sometimes, it is lying about the danger. Test it against truth. Gather facts. Prepare where useful. Release where imagination inflates danger. There will be moments called for bravery that require you to move despite fear, to leave an unhealthy configuration, to speak up for justice, to say yes to a vocation that terrifies you. When the call is big and your throat is small, remember the countless unseen beings who travel with you. You are never carrying your courage alone. On forgiveness, a practical alchemy, forgiveness is not forgetting, nor condoning. It is the alchemical practice of converting the heavy metal of grudges into the light that fuels your heart. Start small. Forgive a minor offense. Notice the lightness that follows. Then work your way outward to larger things with patience and the support of ritual and community. If forgiveness seems impossible, begin with the phrase, "I choose to release the hold this has on me." That phrase does not mean you must reconcile. It simply means you refuse to keep carrying the burden. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. Endurance and the long view you are part of a long arc, a story that spans lifetimes and generations. Some of your work will bloom in your lifetime. Some will be seeds for descendants. Cultivate patience. Learn the art of steady tending. Resist the cultural urgency that equates speed with meaning. Slow, intentional persistence is sacred. The oak takes centuries to grow. And so, your greatest works often require time beyond your impatience. Final charge. Live with a warrior's heart and a lover's hand. Live as a warrior of light who also knows how to cradle. Bring the courage to dismantle what must fall and the tenderness to build what should rise. Let your life be both sword and salve, a force that protects and a presence that heals. There is room for strength and softness in the same body. Cultivate both. When you stumble, as all will, do not shrink into shame. Rise with generosity toward yourself. Apologize where necessary. Forgive readily. Recommit to the path. Growth loves forgiveness more than it loves perfection. I am beside you as a steadying hand, not to do the walking for you, but to clear the path when you are uncertain, to sound the trumpet of courage when you hesitate, and to remind you of the light that never abandons you. The world asks you to be brave, true, and kind. You are more ready than you know. Receive this with the openness of a heart that remembers its source. Breathe it in. Let it set the bones of your purpose humming. Go forth, beloveds, with clarity in your mind, courage in your chest, and compassion in your hands. Your life matters. Your choices matter. Your love matters. Blessings on your brave steps. I stand with you. Asterisk, the fire of transformation, beloveds. There is a sacred fire within each of you, not one that destroys recklessly, but one that transforms. It burns away illusions, dissolves attachments that no longer serve you, and illuminates the path forward. Do not fear this fire. Step into it willingly. Allow it to consume doubt, resentment, and fear. Allow it to reveal your essence, a spirit unbroken, a heart infinite, a mind clear. Transformation is rarely instantaneous. Often, it is a gentle unfolding, a slow metamorphosis that occurs as you release, forgive, and accept. Be patient with yourselves. Celebrate small awakenings, the moment you resist anger, the choice to speak with truth, the courage to stand alone in integrity. Each spark of transformation is a victory of spirit over inertia, of light over confusion. On service as a sacred duty, I speak now of service. True service is not measured by recognition or reward. It is measured by intention, by the willingness to act from love, not obligation. Each act of service, no matter how small, shifts the energy of the world. Feed the hungry. Speak to the lonely. Listen to those who cannot find their voice. Offer your presence where it is needed, even if it seems insignificant. These acts ripple outward in ways unseen. They create a network of healing that spans continents, generations, and lifetimes. Do not be discouraged if the effects of your actions are invisible. The universe is infinite in its wisdom. Small actions accumulate, weaving together a tapestry of light that you may never fully witness. Trust in the impact of your devoted service, on the power of words. Words carry weight beyond measure. They can heal or harm, uplift or diminish, clarify or confuse. Speak with intention. Let your words reflect truth, kindness, and courage. Before speaking, pause. Ask, does this word heal or harm? Does this word reflect my highest truth? Does this word honor the soul to whom it is spoken? Silence can be just as powerful. Do not fill every space with speech. Let stillness be your guide, and choose your words as carefully as a master sculptor chooses the strokes on healing relationship saw. Souls encounter the intricate dance of relationships. Some bring joy, others bring lessons through challenge. Conflict is a teacher. It exposes what lies beneath the surface: fears, attachments, miscommunications. Approach relationships with courage and humility. Forgive where forgiveness is possible. Release where holding on brings suffering. Speak your truth with love, even when it is uncomfortable. Let empathy guide you. Understand that every being is on their path, learning their own lessons, often repeating cycles until growth occurs. Do not cling to relationships that diminish your light. True connection honors your boundaries, uplifts your spirit, and encourages mutual growth. Relationships are mirrors of the soul. Treat them with reverence, care, and honesty, on spiritual discipline, not as punishment, but as nourishment. Daily practices anchor your soul. Prayer, meditation, journaling, reflection. Ritual, these are the tools that sharpen your awareness, strengthen your intuition, and connect you to the divine presence within and around you. Even 5 minutes of intentional practice can transform your day. Begin with gratitude. Naming 3 blessings each morning sets the tone for abundance. End the day with reflection. Naming lessons learned transforms challenges into wisdom. Discipline is not rigidity. It is a loving commitment to your highest self. On hope in times of darkness, there will be moments when despair threatens to overwhelm. The world can feel heavy. Life can feel relentless. In these moments, remember, darkness is temporary. Light is eternal. Your soul carries the spark that no storm can extinguish. Anchor yourself in hope. Let hope be the beacon that guides your steps. Hope is not passive waiting. It is active trust. It is the knowledge that even in suffering, the seeds of growth exist. Even in loss, opportunities for renewal appear. Even in fear, courage waits for your invitation. Guided reflection, connecting with your inner guardian eye, invites you now to a reflection. Close your eyes, breathe deeply. Visualize a bright, golden light surrounding your heart. See this light extending outward, forming a protective shield around your entire being. Feel my presence beside you, a steady, unwavering force of strength and clarity. Speak silently to yourself. I am protected. I am guided. I am loved. I am capable. Allow this affirmation to sink into every cell of your body, into every corner of your mind. Return to this reflection whenever fear or doubt arises. You are never alone. My sword of discernment and shield of compassion are always present.